Hey everybody, Kennis Russell here. I'm looking at a new product here. This is called the Listener Pro for every pro listener. And this is an interesting product because it is kind of three products in one. And they've done a really good job with this, setting this up where you can do multiple things with this. First, it's in-ear monitors, which I'm using right now. I'm going to take these off for the review, but it's an in-ear monitor set. So for live in-ear monitors, that's what I use when I'm live. This is a great set. Here's your transmitter, here's your receiver, and you're able to do in-ear monitoring, which is in stereo as well, which is very, very, very nice, especially something at this price point. But it functions as a transmitter for perhaps, like, let's say you're in a home theater setup and you have a subwoofer that's across the room that you want to send a signal to, but you don't want to run a wire. You can send it through this to the subwoofer, which is really awesome. As well as you can use this as a lavalier microphone. It's got a mic input right here, so you could actually hook up a mic input into this. And then on the receiver side of things, you would put this on a camera or something like that, and you'd be able to have a lavalier microphone. And so this actually is a lot happening all in one. Let me just kind of show you what comes with this, and then I'll go through the details of how to set it up and how you might be able to use this in a real world setting. So let me move this box out of the way. Coming out of the box, I've already got it hooked up a little bit here, but out of the box, got a little tripod if you wanted to mount it to that. Has a pair of in-ear headphones, which is nice that it came with those. On the back, it has this is like a sticker and a clip all in one. And so if I want to, I could stick this on the back here. And it also has a thread right here for screwing it onto the tripod. So that's how you would connect this, or any other thing that you would want to screw it onto the same threads here, the 20, I think it's quarter inch 20 is what they call that for the threads. Anyway, this is nice that they have this as an option to have on and off, because you may not want this. When I was testing this, I just put this in my pocket. It was nice to just slip this in my back pocket. It's about the size of a phone, kind of like a medium size phone. Let me grab this is a iPhone 11. And you can kind of see the size comparison of it. It's about as thick as an iPhone would be, like that. So that kind of gives you an idea of the size of it. So this fit really well in my back pocket. It was able to just put it in there, and then had it. As far as on the transmitter side, also this fits really easily wherever you want it to be. And like I said before, you could put it on the stand using that clip, so that if you're perhaps in a sound booth or something like that, you can rest it on something nicely. It did have these two antennas that I put some tape on this one to indicate that it's the transmitter, and I'll talk about that in just a second. But the antennas they're detachable as well, and it comes with this antenna as well. So like your transmitter, if you wanted to make sure you're sending out a real strong signal, you could throw this on there and have this sitting in the sound booth, angle it exactly wherever you need it. And I think that's a nice feature that it has, multiple antennas. I like the fact that it has the detachable antennas. I'm going to put the smaller one back on for the duration of the review. It also came with a couple of these, they're kind of like screen protectors for a phone that you could put on here, and it just would kind of help with the protection as far as making sure that you have, you're not getting the thing scratched. It also came with one cable that's just a jack, RCA jack, and then a double-ended cable here that you can hook up to something. As well as, I think I mentioned this, that it did have these in-ears that it came with as well, which look like they're decent starter in-ears. So that's what it comes with in the box, unless I'm forgetting anything else, but I don't think I am. Let me show you how to set this up. And this is where this thing actually really, I find to be a really good product, because it, like I said, it does a lot, doesn't it's not just one transmitter and receiver. So there's a lot of different options you could use this for, a lot of different cases, real world cases in which you might want to use this. So for example, where I'm at right now, looking at the top here, it's got both of these are the exact same unit. So usually on a wireless setup, there's a receiver and a transmitter, and they're different units. These are actually the exact same unit. And on the side here, there is a indicator that shows whether it's the transmitter or the receiver. So TX stands for transmitter, and RX stands for receiver. So I've got this set to be the transmitter over here, and this is the receiver because of that switch. Very, very, very nice. To set the channels, all you have to do is go up and down, and you can set the channel. So if I wanted to be on channel 10, and I go over here, and I get on channel 10 as well. And you can see how quickly, watch, when I change it, it will show that it's not in sync there. It's blinking, it's searching for the signal. When I get it lined up, you're good to go right there. So very, very easy to set up. It also has an input and output volume. So here it goes up to 15, and I could set how much gain I'm putting into this and how loud I want the in-ears to be in itself. Very, very nice, very intuitive. The buttons, they'll light up as you touch them, which is nice. They didn't even really have to do that probably. So they're very, very nice looking. But they are easy to touch. So it is easy to actually accidentally touch this. So on the side, they have a switch where you can set it where they are not going to, nothing is going to be turning off or anything like that. So like you're not going to accidentally butt dial this and it changes your channels on you. So very, very cool there. The setup on the top, get to where the light, you can see this. It's got an out, in, and a mic. So if you're playing for in-ears, if you're doing a deal where you've got in-ear monitors, you're going to go on the receiver side, you're going to go in, and then on the transmitter side, you're going to go in, and then on the receiver side, you're going to go out. If you were using it for a guitar, for example, on the transmitter side, you would go in on the guitar. Oh, and I forgot, it did come with another adapter here, but for the 1/8 inch to 1/4 inch. But you would go in on your guitar. You'd have to get an adapter for that to go in here. But then you'd go out to the soundboard or whatever the case is from here. So very easy to see that there's already two different ways you could use this. And the same thing would be for a home theater setup or something where you're wanting to. There's been times where I've even in a live venue wanted to have a speaker placed somewhere that I didn't want to run a 50-foot cord. You could use this to do that, where you could run a cord. Instead of running a cord, you could go in here and then out over there. So really, I guess there's four. You could use it to run a speaker that way. Then if you wanted to use this as a lavalier, you could have this right here, going mic right here with your lavalier microphone, and then out going to your camera or whatever the case is. So all of these things right here that it's got built in to the same unit, which is very nice. I'm going to lock that up so we're in the same one. Yeah, at first I was like, man, I am getting distracted. I can't tell which one is which. But then when I realized that this is such a great setup to have the option that these are the exact same unit, because it actually allows for more flexibility. For example, sometimes you might want to be in a situation where you have, maybe there's, say, like 3 singers, and they don't all need to have their same individual mix. They could have one mix. You could actually buy another set of these. So you'd have 4 exact same units, set one of them to the transmitter and 3 of them as receivers, and they would all be receiving the same thing. Or if you had a situation where maybe you had multiple speakers that you're trying to power with or get audio to from a soundboard without having to run cables, you could do that as well. You could have, with 3 packs, you could set 1 to the transmitter and 2 packs to the receiver, and you're good to go there. So Overall, the sound quality of them is really nice. It did have a little bit of hiss with it, which is very, very common, especially I found in the 2.4 gigahertz in ears, but definitely not something that's going to take you out of it. And wasn't really bad. There is a very, very tiny delay from what I can hear. Now I can't tell if it's just the delay from what I'm having with my setup here as I'm recording. And I did test this in another recording situation where I was talking, and when you kind of talk and there's just like a 5 millisecond delay, you can hear that a little bit in your ears. I don't think that I would notice it that much playing, but I did notice it talking. But overall, I don't think that it is that big of a delay. I've heard worse delays for sure in ears. So, but I wanted to mention that just because that is something that I people want to know when they're talking about in ears. It also has a little hook right here that you could strap on a little like a hand thing where it would go around your wrist or something like that. So overall, I'm going to give this an A+. I think they've done a great job for Listener Pro for putting out a product that it's not a big name product, but man, they've done some. It's almost like they did a bunch of market research and said, what could we have on a product that other people are not using. Forgot to mention this USB charging right here. So no big deal to charge these guys up. And man, so anyway, hopefully this is helpful to you in deciding on whether you should get the Listener Pro in-ears here. I'm planning on using these and keeping these in my arsenal, if nothing else, for the fact that I can do so much with them, because I could use it for all of those different purposes. I could really see that. So anyway, Kennis Russell out. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in another review.